You know I love Korean dramas, but one of my ultimate favorite Korean dramas is a period piece. Oh my God, this is so fantastic. It's on Netflix now. It was done in 2019. The Crowned Clown. Wow, what a fantastic show. I mean, it is binge worthy. I finished this, I think, in like 2 days because you want to see what happens next. Anyway, let's go. Hello, good people. Thanks for joining me again. My name is Anne, and on my channel, I review foreign shows. You know what I usually say, right? We travel around the world sitting on our couches. How fun is that? You never know which country we're gonna end up next. Hi guys, thanks for joining me. If you're new to my channel, my name is Anne, and on my channel I review foreign international content. I like to say you never know which country we're gonna land next, and obviously one of our favorites is South Korea. South Korea, you know when you know if you've watched a Korean drama, right? Anyway, I had to come and review this one. It dropped on Netflix like maybe a week ago. However, this was done in 2019. So for my friends who probably have, other apps like Viki or whatever, they probably saw it 2 years ago, but it's on Netflix and definitely worth a watch. So The Crowned Clown is actually a really cute story. First of all, historical pieces I love. I cannot get enough of the costuming. I love how they behaved in those olden days. It's just, I always feel like when any country does the authentic period piece, it shows the country, the culture just pushes through, it comes through, the language, everything is great. I mean, when we watch things that are done, recently, you see the westernization, they dress differently, nothing against that, but I love a period piece because I feel like it really brings out the culture of anybody's culture. If it's African, if you wear your African clothing, it just feels just more authentic, if you will. But anyway, so The Crowned Clown is a story about the character of Hae-Hyo, and it starts off with him. He works with his sister, and I believe this guy who's almost like a father, uncle figure, who they're part of a clown show, and they go around, South Korea just entertaining people. They actually make jokes of the king and the queen and how crazy they are. And what happens is he's performing at a place and somebody sees him and like, wow, you actually look like a doppelganger or a twin of the real king. But they also show us that the king himself, who is kind of young, is very troubled king. Kind of reminds me of like, Julius Caesar, who was a little like, had lost it. We meet him and he looks paranoid. He's always worried people are gonna kill him. There's even a scene that opens up with him killing his family, his younger step brother. So let's just say he knows there's many enemies coming at him. And because of that, it's made him really paranoid. And then to make the matters worse, people who are supposed to take care of him have gotten him addicted to drugs and things. They're making him smoke all these things, and he's become so addicted to them because they're trying to calm him down, but it just makes him even more crazy. But in the palace, there is the character of Yi-kyu, I think that's how you say it. He's like an advisor, a secretary to the king, and he's like, I gotta save him from himself, right? So when he is watching this clown show and sees this guy who looks exactly like the king, the thought crosses his mind like, what if we bring this clown to play the king so that the real king can go and get medical help and rest? So that way, when he comes back, he's much more healthy. Maybe he can get off these drugs and he'll be a much more healthy king. So that's how it starts off, like, let's do that. So he brings it up to the king and say, hey, I saw someone who looks just like you. And what do you think about this idea? And the king is like, sure, bring him, let's see. And when they look at each other, it was like, oh, you look just like me. So the king is like, this is perfect. So, and then obviously when they tell him, the clown, what he has to do, he's like, let me get this straight. So you're gonna ask me to pretend to be the king. And that almost kind of puts me in a place of danger as well, meaning they may think I'm the king and I could get killed. Like this, how is this a good deal for me? Anyway, for the love of the kingdom and the palace, he decides to do it. But what was so interesting is in the way of, it was so touching to see that, a regular person being put in a high position because he knows people and he knows the struggles of regular people, the decisions and the influences he start to make in the kingdom, people are just like, wow, the king has changed, and the king has changed for good. Oh my God. And then now they have to keep the facade that that's the king. And now the queen is also like, wow, this new king is great, as in like the king changed. He's no longer that violent, crazy guy. He's a nice guy. I like him. I didn't like him before. I didn't even want him to touch me. Now I'm like, I think I'm falling in love with the king. But this whole time, she doesn't realize it's not the king, it's the clown who's playing the king. So, and then there's also his stepmother who is like, this guy is a little bit different, or the king has changed, and she can't put her finger to it. So anyway, as the story progresses, obviously the question becomes, is he gonna get found out? Is he gonna stay king forever? Or what happens to the real king? Does the real king come back? I don't do spoilers. I don't want to mess that up for you. I want you to watch it. It's so good. It's so good. And then what happens to their relationship? Now she's fallen in love with who she thinks is the king, but it's the clown. Okay, and how long can they keep up this facade of the clown and the real king? You have to watch. It's so good. The other part that was so touching was the relationship between Hae-Hyo and Hee-won, the secretary. So technically speaking, the secretary, let's just say the secretary was running the kingdom and then would give instructions to the clown king. And initially they were just like, look, you do what I tell you and don't whatever. But the more they got to know each other and their relationship builds, oh my God, their relationship is so beautiful. To the point where it comes to the end where they're actually like calling him king and they believe this is our true king. Oh, it was so, I love their relationship. And then the other part, the other person that they had a beautiful relationship was Joe. I may not be saying that correctly. So he's like your caretaker in the palace. He gets him dressed, helps him go to the library. He's teaching him how to read, because remember, he was a commoner. He did not know how to read or anything. So he's teaching him how to read and kind of reminding him what the other king would do, so that way nobody notices. But their relationship, oh, it grows. It's like the two men, the relationship grows from like, we're here for you to protect the king, to where it's almost like a father to son relationship, a son to grandpa. Oh, I loved it so much. You have to do yourself a favor and watch The Crowned Clown. It is so good. And if you love historical pieces, please do yourself a favor and watch this. I mean, it has like relationships and family and romance. Oh, it has it all. It has about all the different things that happen in the kingdom, the classism between, the ones who are like royal blood and the ones who are commoners. Could a commoner become a royal? I mean, the things they have to explore and the way they go about it was so good. And then him and his relationship with his sister, that one scene when she had to say goodbye to him, you're gonna cry like a baby. I cried like a baby. I mean, it was just like, oh my God. But please do yourself a favor and watch The Crowned Clown. one of the best I've seen. I've seen a lot of historical Korean dramas, and this one definitely is added on that list. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. Please do give me a like if you like the video, subscribe, it does help my channel. And I'll see you again when I'm reviewing another excellent foreign international show. Deuces!